Let's talk about the online ordering process, which is essentially the core functionality of Ethos. The process for online ordering has been designed in a way that facilitates customers to be very specific in their orders, including multiple variances for the products, as well as extras, modifiers, and even a section for additional requirements. And the whole process is very intuitive and easy to follow. This, in addition to the fact that customers don't need to download and install any application or complete tortuous sign-up registering processes. This makes the ordering process just a breeze, an experience that easily emulates the standard ordering exercise. As mentioned before, customers can navigate multiple categories, do specific searches, or just filter the product list based on characteristics. Then for every product, customers have visibility on multiple pictures, description, calories, characteristics such as gluten, vegetarian, allergens, or just suitable for a specific diet. For every product then, customers can specify the wanted variants of the product based on the extras and modifiers, and even leave a note with any sort of additional requirements. There are multiple languages available for the customer interface. So whenever the customer is requiring just changing the interface, it is very, very easy. And then the menus will be, of course, in those multiple languages. So let's move directly into the ordering process. Let's take a look what the ordering process looks like. I have moved my smartphone screen into the presentation so we can have an accurate idea about what the customer application for ordering looks like. So in this particular case, as the restaurant is offering both takeaway and dine-in, we see these two options here, but this is a parameter set by the restaurant. They decide whether they want to serve takeaway or dine-in or both of them, or well, it's just a parameter that they are setting up. Then the customer is prompted with this first screen after they scan the QR code or the access in any other way the restaurant site. It is possible to change the language for the interface. In my particular case, this is a test environment, so we actually don't have all the languages available, but we will see here all the languages that are activated by the restaurant. The restaurant again determines what languages they want to have available for their customers, and therefore in what languages the menus will be displayed in. Well, to start the order, in my case, I just select dine in. As this is a pick up at counter type of business, I'm not going to be required to enter any table number. But if it were just a serving to the table type of business, the table number would be the initial input. As I said, this is pick up at the counter, so I just select dine in and move directly into the menu. As we can see here, the different products are classified by category. So we have different groups of products in different categories. So customers can navigate through the different categories. They can see the different options available, right? Based on the categories list that are then in the menu. Customers can also search particular items, entering any sort of text. So those products that are including that text in the name or description will be displayed. As we can notice, all the products in the list are identified with a little square in this case, but probably the icon will change, where we see that is either red or green. That means if the product is suitable for vegetarian, it will be green, but if it's not, it is red. In addition, we also have characteristics specified for every item. So we can specify standard characteristics based on the type of food or whatever we want to use as characteristics. Some people are using things like um, suitable for specific diets like keto, that stuff, or halal for specific people, or well, depending on what we want to use as characteristics. So every single product has characteristics, a description, the price. If the price has a discount, we will see here. And then from this exact point, it is possible to add the different items into the order. So if we go to a simple item, something very simple that doesn't really require too much specification, like a drink, then we can just, from the list, add it directly to the order. Like this, we just enter it here and it's already in the cart. But then there are other type of items that require some specifications. So those items are just not possible to be added directly, but we need to just complete some information. For example, the crispy chicken wings, if I try to add it, we can see the different pictures associated to the item and so on. But then there are a couple of things that we need to respond or we need to specify for this particular item. We also see that also shows the characteristics, description, and then the specifications. Then it is required to add a sauce to this particular product. So we can select out of this list the sauce that we prefer. It is important to notice that some of the options might have an extra cost. In this case, if I select just something like barbecue sauce, this one is not adding extra cost, but if I select the honey mustard, you can see that it's going to be different, and the description will show me the price before the additions. So we can also have extra options here. These are not required, but just optional. We can select extra cheese, extra bacon, extra ketchup, and these options then will be added to the notes, right? We can also select some modifiers if required and even enter a additional request in plain test. Something like, I don't know, something, please serve worm. Just any particular requirement can be added in the order. So now we have two items, one that we entered directly from the list, another one that we just specified. Then we can keep adding items, for example, and please check this out. If I try to add another one of these crispy chicken wings that I already selected, actually the application will ask me if I'm going to repeat the last use customization, as this particular product requires some specifications to be entered. It says, do you want to use the same customization or you want to add a new one? So if you decide just the same, you can add it here. But if you want to have a different one, you just say add new customization. In this particular case, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm just going to use ketchup, nothing else, add to the cart. So you will see that in the cart now we have the same item, but with two different set of specifications. Then if we move back to the menu, well, we can keep navigating. I didn't mention that it is also possible to filter the items based on the characteristics. So for example, if I want to see items that have within the characteristics the gluten option, those items will be displayed here. We can select different types of characteristics. So we can include, for example, gluten and items to share. Those items that are fitting one of these requirements that I enter here will be shown in the list. So it's possible to search items in the search box, or we can just filter the list based on characteristics. Another important thing is that we also have the option to select what we call combos. Combos is nothing but groups of items that are sold together. So if I select, for example, within my list of combos, chicken combo, right? I see the description, calories, some characteristics, pictures, and so on. But also, we see that out of this, that this product, this particular combo, already has two specific items that are fixed. So this combo is coming with crispy chicken wings and French fries. But there is an option here to select a drink. So we want to see, we're going to decide here what is the drink that we want to include in this combo. You're going to say, well, it's a soda. The other options will add extra cost. I probably don't want to add any extra cost at this point. So I just say I want to keep it with soda. We also need to specify what sauce I want, right? I might want no sauce or just the one that is not adding extra cost, or I can perfectly have one that is adding cost. As well, we can add some extras, modifiers, additional requests as with any other product, but in this case it is a combo that includes some fixed items already and then some of them that are variable. And I'm going to add it to the cart. Then in my cart, I already have all the items that I enter in the order. I can keep adding. I can just say add more items. Go, for example, for a side. Let's say I want to add some sweet potatoes. This is an item without specifications. I can add it directly from here, right? And then this is also in the cart. Then we can just move on. There is one thing that I also want to mention, and is that the modifiers, the extras, can just go to a, well, or can range from simple specifications like what we saw before, extra cheese, extra bacon, that kind of thing, or no onion, no tomato, or a particular choice among different alternatives like the drinks. But then we can use or we can find products even to the degree that you can just customize it entirely. Like, for example, a custom pizza. In this case, we might find an item that you are making on your own. So you are essentially selecting everything, right? So, for example, for a custom pizza, we can select the dough. So we want to say, well, I prefer thick crust. Then we keep on. Then we select the base sauce. I like, for example, tomato and oregano, and a cheese base. We want to have melted cheese in the base or not. Say yes, I do want to have it in the base. And then toppings, what type of toppings we want. Let's say I like mozzarella and cheddar as cheese, and then as meat I want to have some pepperoni, and I also want some salami, right? So we can keep adding items and then create our own specific item based on the whole set of parameters or specifications that we have available for a particular item. When we are in the cart, we can modify the order, or we can just simply delete, right, any item, and then it works just automatically. Then, when we are in the cart and the order is completed, we can also see a menu for complements. So the restaurant decides what products should be in the complimentary menu. So in my case, I want to say, yeah, I don't want to forget my cheesecake, so I want to add a cheesecake to my order. And then when the order is complete, we can just move on and check out. At this point, the application will ask me how would you like to receive the confirmation, the receipt, and also the orders updates or the orders status updates, right? So I say, well, I want to receive it via email, but also via text message and also via WhatsApp. You can select one of them, all of them, right? And it is also important that in this case, as we are talking about a pickup at counter type of business, we can add a name to the order. And in this case, if we are a name, then this name will be displayed in the screen that is showing the status or the statuses of the order. I can add just a name to my order, so we will have it as identifier, and once again it will be shown in the screen, in that screen that is showing the order's status with my name. If I don't decide to enter any name, it will be just the order number. So we are saying we want to receive notifications and the received in all these ways, and also my name is included in the order. We just move on. As we have selected to receive via email, text message, and WhatsApp, we need to enter all this information Remember that none of this data is stored, so every time you will need to just add it, just because this is not something that gets saved or stored in the system. So we add then email address, then a phone number, and I want to say that is the same phone number for WhatsApp, right? And then move on. Up to this point, we still have option to choose, so to select or to modify the order. We are prompted here with a summary of the order, everything that we have added to the order, and then we can add a tip. I probably want to modify the order at this point and say, well, you know what? I actually wanted two of these crispy chicken wings. It wasn't only one. Yeah, but this is two, but different specifications. Or I want to just add more items or whatever, so we can get back or get back to the cart and then keep adding items. For example, for this one in particular, the one with more specs, let's say I want to have two, right? So I can modify still, I can get back, I already entered this data, I can modify it if needed, but we can just move on and get back to the checkout option, and then at this point everything is fixed, so we all the time have the possibility to modify the order before it's been placed. As I mentioned before, we at this point can add any tip if we want, so we can select from the list of options that we have here, or we can just add a custom amount, and then that is essentially what I will have in my order as a tip. So I can either select from the options, from the suggested options, or I can just add a custom amount. I can remove it from here, add it again, and then complete the order. As up to this point, then we have completed the order, we can continue to payment, and here we can decide whether we want to pay with debit credit card, which will be an online payment, or just pay at the counter. This also depends on the restaurant operation. Some restaurants might have both options available. Some restaurants might require or might receive only online payments, so or only pay at the counter. So it all depends on the business operation. In my case, for the exercise, I'm going to select just the debit and credit card, so it's going to be a online payment. So I move on, I say pay now, and at this point, we will be displayed with the payments gateway. This is now in this is now in Stripe. Stripe is the gateway that we're using for payments. So Stripe actually has an extra functionality, and is this link option. This link is essentially a sort of wallet where you can store, but this will be in Stripe, you can store your payment data, right? If you don't want to use link, then you can just enter your card details, or if you have accessed from a device with a Google Pay account, then you can use Google Pay. If you are using an iPhone, then you will be able to use Apple Pay as well. Or as I said, you can just enter the data, right, for from your card, and then the payment can be completed. In my case, I'm gonna use link just because it's easier and faster for me. I already have this data stored. So if I just pay, the order is posted at this point and is being completed. If we have entered particular ways to be notified, then at this point we will be receiving the notification about the order. So as I selected WhatsApp as one of the ways to be notified about the order, now we are receiving the confirmation that my order is being received, and actually, as I already paid, I can even see the receipt directly from the link that we are getting here. But as well, I also decided to receive notification via text message. Then in the text message, we also will see then the notification as we mentioned before, and also the link to have direct access to the received. So either from the WhatsApp message or from the text message, we can just access the received just by accessing the link. And then once we access the link, we will see the PDF document, the receipt that was delivered with the food. So we have all the data associated to the order. Please bear in mind that this is a actual receipt, because we already paid the order. It was an online payment, so it is completed. So we'll see everything that we ordered with a detail of the tax, some notes at the end, so a standard receipt. And also, as we decided that we wanted to receive the invoice via or the receipt via email, then in the email we also receive the information with the details about the receipt, so it can be downloaded or seen as we did before.